wanted to talk about a new compilation that is 45 tracks, 5 hours long, and covers a total of 4 years of my life in Tokyo. Recently I released in some form on YouTube, and on July 1st will come out officially via major streaming services before and after COVID. And I feel in some ways that have come full circle since 2020, the summer of 2020. COVID, the first lockdown in Japan, which also marked for me a time of change. And the music that I started creating with the album Untitled in the summer of 2020, that's where this compilation begins. And it ends with Before and After COVID, which is my most recent solo album. So it goes from COVID to COVID, in a sense. And it's like literally the summer of 2020 to the summer today of 2024. The timing just felt right. July 1st, like I said, that's being released on streaming services, the Before and After COVID album. And the compilation will be released the same day on Bandcamp. It's now available for pre-order on Bandcamp. Because July 1st marks literally the day that my contract renews. Of course, I've renewed it already for my apartment. And so it marks literally 4 years of living here alone. And it was the first lockdown, the first COVID, not lockdown, but the first state of emergency in Tokyo. We didn't have a lockdown. It was in the midst of that when I was moving, which was actually quite scary at the time, the way the media at least was making it out to be. So I was moving during a time that I was supposed to be sort of staying at home, and then I was staying at home. And the music, let's talk about the music, let's talk about the compilation. That's what I want to talk about on this short video. So again, it starts with the Untitled album in 2020. That's the only thing I present from that year, and then it moves quickly to 2021. My tetralogy, Hope, The Sun is Coming, The Answer is Inside, and Moment, the 4 albums that I made. It's quite noisy here, which I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be quiet. The park is here, and they're making announcements in Mandarin Chinese or something. Anyway, what I did was essentially present 2 tracks per album. And the things I skipped over were like compilations or remixes, or although there's some remixed sort of alternate versions, but they were on the albums. And I skip over most of the covers. There are no Bowie covers. I did a number of Bowie cover albums or tribute albums. That material is elided, and the Disc Shred material is elided. But again, 2021 then focuses on the tetralogy, 2 tracks per album, so that's 8 tracks in total. And then it moves to 2022, which was a year that I did a lot of music. And so that maybe there's 2022, 2023, I think I was the most sort of creative, active, doing these things. So 2022, again, 2 tracks per album, generally, in some cases 1, but generally 2, no more than 2. Moves through The Way Out Is In at the beginning of 2022, Dark Planet, and some other things like Kali-Yuga, which is a 10, I think it's 8 or 9 or 10 minute piece, noise piece, which was part of a much longer project. And some of the acoustic things from Waves Between Emptiness, Bodhidharma and the Frog, Always for My Daughter, that kind of thing acoustically, and so on. And then it moves to 2023. 1,000 Lights is represented. That actually was complete at the end of 2022. It's sort of in between. And then starting with the Triad, which was my pre-50th birthday trilogy of albums. One is a double, but again, 2 tracks from each of those. 02, 26, 23, mostly an acoustic album. And then Without Beginning or End was a double album, experimental double album, and then one track only from Abstract Distractions, and then it moves to the To Be Human series that I did in 2023. Again, it skips over this Dark Shroud. I've got Chaos 2023 from Red Signals on there, and that kind of thing. And then the collection ends with my most recent material from Angels of Chaos this year, which I started at the end of 23 and published or released in 2024 as a double album. Again, just 2 tracks, Shadow Life, which I released solo before that, which was actually kind of like outtakes from that. And then up through Angels of Time, and then finally Before and After COVID. So this really 45 tracks, 5-hour journey through the last 4 years of my life living solo in Tokyo, before and after COVID indeed. But without darkness, there would be no light. I believe that is the title I gave this collection. And my theme from really back in the beginning of when I started making music with Black Nail and Dials in the Bathroom solo, I mean, and even as far back as my band days, but especially after sort of doing things solo and using electronics and so on, I've been saying that my theme is, in Japanese I say in to yo, which is yin and yang, which is light and dark. Lightness and darkness comes up a lot, and the balance going. Life is this, right? It goes up and down, it gets better, it gets worse. We have good moments, we have bad moments. There's joy and ecstasy and love, and then on the flip side of that, there's terror and fear and hatred and violence and all the not good things, and that kind of push and pull and tension in nature and in our lives is life. And the universe too can be violent, and it can also be the most beautiful thing in a blue sky, or a rainstorm, or a typhoon, or an earthquake, or sitting on the beach looking at the sea. So it's light and darkness, and without dark, we want to have good things, we want to have light and joy and hopefulness and nice things, but without the darkness we couldn't have that either. Without the contrast, without the light there's no shade, and without the darkness there can't be any contrast for the light. And so that was the title I gave it, and it will release on July 1st on Bandcamp. It's a nice overview, the arc of the kind of music and the themes that I've dealt with, and it's changed, from COVID to after COVID. And it includes all kinds of things in between, some personal and some a little bit more sort of general that people could sort of relate to, and even the personal things maybe people can relate to some extent, like being alone during the pandemic, or like having a failed relationship, or like these kinds of things. So this is kind of where this compilation comes from. Obviously it's not all inclusive, obviously it's not completely comprehensive, but it's 5 hours of my work from the last 4 years. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me, Marc Lowe, and I'm going to end this here, and I'll be interviewed very soon by John Maggiore, who's the guy who does, he runs a Bowie blog, and he's interviewed me there about David Bowie, and tonight, my time, he's going to interview me about my work. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be posted soon, I think, to this page, is the way it's working, and the Bowie interview will be posted to his page in July next month. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you soon.